So Philip, thank you for joining me today. You're the founder of Leela Quantum, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of my people aren't familiar with quantum or frequency medicine. So could you kind of give us a seventh grade version of what frequency and quantum medicine is?
Yeah, so at core, what we need to understand first is that we're all energy and frequency to begin with, but we're not just solid meat bags. We actually are energy and frequency. So that's the first thing we need to understand. Tesla already told us that, ancients already told us that, right? And we now have kind of forgotten the most fundamental truth of our own existence. That is something we need to start remembering, because behind the matter, there's always energy. Now that energy it's not empty space, it literally is quantum energy. You could also call it a high consciousness field. There's different words or descriptions for the same thing. We call it quantum energy because it's the most fundamental layer pretty much of existence. Every cell has a quantum energy field, and that's how the cells communicate. So always think, if you have matter somewhere, in the inside of that, there's also quantum energy, okay? So that's how everything vibrates. Now, we can tap into that through meditation or just feeling, because we can actually feel that there's more than just the physical body, right? And then also, if you really, even logical, you could be logical about it. So if I move, right, how do I move? It's not that just body moving on its own, right? It's like we're providing the task or the energy to do something. Like there is a direction, right? And that's certainly not just a physical thing that does it all. And the breakthrough that we created was that we found a way on how to harness and super concentrate actually, this natural quantum energy that, with the extension of our technology, which is the so-called blocks, there's a small travel block, an infinity block, a large grand block, all these blocks, they contain a super concentrated quantum energy space, actually, which for people to understand like how that works is, if you have two magnets and then you get closer, at some point you feel that there's this force, there's a force field between the two magnets. The same thing applies for the blocks. It's just not a magnetic field, it's a quantum field, but the principle is the same thing. You need these two supercharged sides basically to provide this space, right? That's, if I deassemble it doesn't work.
The energy.
Yeah, it's like if I throw away one of the magnets, I don't have the magnetic force field anymore. Okay. So that's pretty much how it works. And then quantum energy is in everything, but not in such concentration. So now with this super concentrated field, there's a lot possible because it interacts with our biofield. So our biofield is basically, that's the energy that we are, right? Mm-hmm. And we brush our teeth in the morning, we take a shower in the morning, we take supplements, we exercise, we do so much for our physical body. Right. We don't do much for our biofield. Some people don't do anything for their biofield, yet it's the most important layer of our existence. So if we start shifting that and we do something for the biofield, and there's a lot of free things we can do for our biofield. Actually, just being in nature is already something we do for it. Just waking up in the morning and just connecting with yourself for a minute before you do anything else, or you get into tasks or grab your phone, just connect with yourself. That is something that already supports the biofield. Meditation, yoga, tai chi, all these practices, they get us in touch and in tune with our biofield. And it's nothing that we need to search for anywhere else, because it's inside of us, and it's the non-physical. So with our technology, you can tap into like a full battery charger that recharges your biofield. And now it may all sound magical or woo-woo, but now it's actually getting into the real hardcore science because it interacts with the biofield and really uplifts the biofield. Then suddenly the physical reacts as well, because it ripples through into the physical, and then you can see all these positive changes that the body is performing because the biofield is suddenly supported in a way it wasn't before. So you see the blood improve significantly. You can see ATP production increase.
Okay.
You can see actual wound healing of human cells accelerate by 50 to 100%.
So you get healthier mitochondria, healthier.
Yes, totally. And there's a lot more to it. We can get into the science. So I stop here, but that's pretty much the process on how it works. Okay. And then suddenly we take care of the biofield is supported and strengthened, and then suddenly the body acts and gets into full optimization mode. And because the body is designed to heal itself, and then it can start doing these things. And it's not placebo, it's not random, it works literally 100% of the cases.
100% of the cases?
Yeah, it always works because the field is always there. And these trials that were done with sham devices, so it's sham controlled. The ATP studies, the wound healing studies were all randomized, double blind. Not just some simple before and after testing.
I see. How is this delivered? Are you delivering a frequency? Is that am I correct that you're adding frequency to the existing biofield?
Yeah, so the way it works,
I don't want to oversimplify, but yeah.
Yeah, so in the end of the day, everything is frequency.
Right.
But so with the blocks, we call it neutral quantum field. And we actually say that is quantum energy, pure natural quantum energy in no specific frequency, even though it vibrates as a frequency. But for simplification, we say there's no specific frequency added. It's just a pure natural quantum field. That already promotes these positive changes. Now, with our technology, we can add specific frequencies. Let's say a frequency that promotes inner peace. If we were to then add that into this field, you suddenly feel inner peace and your own inner peace expands. We could add a vitamin C frequency, and then suddenly you get the effect in your body as if you were to take a vitamin C pill. So that information can be placed into the field. And what we also do is we create lifestyle products where we combine quantum energy as the carrier wave, basically, with specific frequencies. So we have this water bottle, for example, that's infused with the most important vitamins and minerals for the human body and charged with quantum energy. And if you put water inside or tea or whatever, it gets informed with these frequencies and it also gets structured. So that in a nutshell is how the whole thing works.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it's new because it's, we didn't think something like that would be possible, right? That's kind of like the common thought. But every truly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic at first. It really is the case. If we were to go back to the 1600s now with our iPhones and we told people on the street, this is what we can do with it, they think we're nuts, right? And they wouldn't even understand the words we're using.
Correct.
But the same thing is even true even for photography or videography or fax or any of those.
Recording sound.
It didn't exist.
Recording sound is a frequency. Yeah. Right? Obviously, we play it, deliver it, or send it all over the place in radio form, right?
Yeah.
Radio frequency, So what you said with Tesla, he's sending it through the air and could have delivered electricity through the air, right?
Yeah, so we don't work with electricity at all,
no.
But there's things possible.
Let's explain that. So how is your, I think people would think of frequency, they either think of sound, maybe light if they're really thinking about it, or electricity.
Yeah.
How is your frequency delivered? Is that an appropriate question?
Yeah, absolutely. So the quantum field in general is the base layer of existence, and within the quantum field, all these different frequencies exist, and they're multiple, right? There's the light frequencies, there's hertz and sound frequencies, then there's etheric frequencies, There's molecular frequencies, so that would be a frequency of a physical substance, because every physical substance, everything has its own vibration, right? So there's all these different types of frequencies. There's scalar waves that would be also a frequency band within the quantum field that exists. And we can work with all of those frequencies, but we're mainly focused on molecular frequencies and etheric frequencies.
Okay.
And we can basically almost create any combination of that. And yeah, we always try to figure out the next best stuff and the next best frequency.
So it's in a liquid form?
No, it's not a liquid form. So it's you couldn't. We could put it in liquid. As a matter of fact, we're working on eye drops right now that are 100% natural and just on its own have great benefits, but we're adding specific frequencies, and then that can be done, right? And we tend to do that sometimes, but usually we have products like this Heal capsule, for example, that you wear, and then it's made out of brass and contains some titanium beads, and it has a field, and you can't touch the field, like you can't touch Wi-Fi signals either. And within this field, the frequencies vibrate. And the blocks, for example, they're like this big, for example, and it's also metal, and it just vibrates. There's nothing you need to ingest or anything.
Okay. And obviously I'm very familiar with those, the copper beads, and I've seen those. And so my understanding was one of the purposes of that was also to protect, in a sense.
Yeah. EMF, for example.
Protecting EMF.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's quite a lot of, obviously more and more awareness of the need to protect from Wi-Fi and EMF and phones and everything else.
Yeah.
And so that's putting out a frequency that blocks the EMF. Am I?
Yeah, almost. It doesn't block. It's very important to understand also, because if it were to block it, then you couldn't use your phone, right? So it's not even wanted, because then you can't use your tech. But what it does, it harmonizes the waveform patterns. And I know that there's these weird stickers that you can get on Amazon to put on the back of your phone, and they claim to do all kinds of stuff. They don't do anything. We tested 13 different ones, and none of them had any efficacy whatsoever. Maybe there is one out there. Don't want to guarantee that they're all bad, but all the ones we tested did not do a single thing. Our technology literally works on a below subatomic level, and that's the nature of the quantum field. That's also nothing we did to it. It's just that's what a strong quantum field just does. We just have the knowledge of how to deliver such a field.
Gotcha.
And then, for example, if you wear the capsule, around you, these waveform patterns that are destructive from 5G, 4G, whatever, they are harmonized in a way that they don't have a negative impact anymore. And that's why you can test people with blood, with HRV, with whatever, and see how detrimental the effects are of EMF on the physical body. Your organs literally go into full deregulation if you're in an electric car, for example. It's crazy what you see out there when you really get into the testing of these things. But then you introduce our tech, and it's all regulated within a couple minutes. The whole body, all organs suddenly vibrate in a perfect state. The blood reorganizes and declots. We can reverse stage 1 and stage 2 of blood clotting with the tech within 10 minutes. It's that powerful because the electromagnetic spectrum is more physical, and since we're impacting everything on the most fundamental layer of energy, it just ripples through into the physical. That's pretty much how it works.
And it's the titanium putting out its frequency, and the copper. So you said
the one we infuse it with. We infuse it. It's not the titanium itself doesn't do anything.
Okay.
We infuse these metals, and so why metals? Because metals hold and transmit quantum energy very well. Okay. So if we were to use plastic or fabrics or something, they wouldn't have a field. Glass, for example, wouldn't work. Like glass doesn't do anything. Actually, it's
too insulated. It doesn't conduct.
Exactly.
It insulates.
And even water if I had a glass of water here, it wouldn't provide a feel. The water itself would be charged, and that's easily possible with water. But you would need to drink it. It wouldn't create a
a
feel.
feel.
The metal creates a field. Yeah.
So it's what you infuse into the metal that creates the feel. So you're essentially changing the frequency of the space around you that is conducive to your own biofield.
Correct. Yeah, and in addition to that, it uplifts the body because it literally works on two ways. One is it strengthens the biofield, and it harmonizes the environment around you.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's as if all these negative frequencies are just going right through. That's what all the researchers find.
Wow.
And we had a lot of researchers that, for example, Dr. Rubik that ran a lot of the dark field microscopy studies with the blood in the US. He's one of the top experts in the world in this field. And also Dr. Robert Schief, a professor at the University of Tulsa who ran the wound healing studies and ATP production studies with actual human cells. Both of them were completely skeptical because they thought, well, I mean, energy devices can't do that, right? That's like, we can run the studies, but I mean, it's not going to work. And then they both came back and they were just, oh my God, this is working. So the Dr. Robert Schief is now, teaching his students about it, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he ran 8 of those studies to repeat them over and over again and always the same results. And Dr. Rubik, the same thing. It's clear it's working because it was randomized, sham controlled, blinded. There's no doubt about it. And the changes were not marginal. It's not like that you have a little tick. It's significant. If you can have a wound heal 50 to 100% faster.
Yeah, it's significant.
Yeah.
That's a significant change. That was noted.
And it doesn't mean it's instantly healed, right? I mean,
No, not instant. But
of course not, but
there's a process that your body goes through, and you're accelerating the process through and further enabling the mitochondria and the immune system to do its job, basically.
Correct.
So, very good. And so is it I know you said the capsule, and you have something larger.
Yeah, that's the blocks. I would call that the extension of our technology because with these blocks, I mean, the nice basic side effect is you put it in your home or office and it just neutralizes the negative effects of EMFs, but then you can do a lot more with it. You can charge your water. You can structure your water. The Moto Institute has found that. Yeah. The Moto Institute tested in Japan a little bit over 2 years ago that our devices can improve water faster than any other method they've ever seen before to a level that's unheard of, and they've been reselling our products since 2 years in Japan because of that. And usually they don't sell products.
So just come in contact or close to the block?
So with water is very receptive, so you could even get it charged if you put it near it, but the best charge you get if you put it inside.
Or put the block in the water.
And it literally structures the water. Yeah. And out of one beautiful crystal that was in the control water, 5 beautiful crystals happened within 3 minutes with our weakest device.
Wow.
And then you can also charge foods, right? I don't know if that's because foods also contain water, but
makes sense.
That could be one of the reasons, but it works with all kinds of foods, and it goes further, right? Because then people in our community found out that are sensitive to foods or allergic, that if they charge these foods and then consume them, the allergy wasn't there anymore.
Wow.
But then the allergy was still there when they consumed these foods without charging, and that happened over and over again. So we then ran at Dave Asprey's conference a few years back in front of over 100 people, a life experiment where someone put crab meat into the arm of Todd Shipman, biohacker Todd, and he's allergic to crab meat, and so it got red and got blisters instantly, and it got itchy. And then the same crab meat they put live on stage in the Infinity Block, took it out, put it in his other arm, no allergic reaction. And then we had 2 pilot studies done by a clinic in Germany, in Munich, that found a 65 to 95% reduction in allergy response across all substances they tested. We don't do this at home, don't try this at home. I can't give the advice to do that because there's so many different layers and reasons why people have allergies, and then some people even have deadly allergies, so do not try this at home. We're trying to gather more data, but there's a lot more to it because
it shows there's more that people understand about the impact of the frequency and that.
100%. And then a very easy test, and that's maybe the last thing to that. And by the way, we have over 48 placebo-controlled studies that we can show. That can be reached on the website. But there's a pretty easy test that chemists can do, and a chemist in Germany just ran a study. He measured the redox potential of specific substances and found that each time you put this substance, which is a stable solution or a stable powder, it wouldn't change usually. After you put it in the block, the redox potential changed. And for example, then he ran 12 or 13 samples with rainwater and found each time a significant change in the redox potential, and to the point where also it was better water that takes care on its own of microorganisms. So it's even healthier water. So he came from a completely different perspective than the Emoto Institute because it's a completely different test. But he showed each time you put it in the blog, it happens. Even though we can't touch what's in there, so we have a hard time understanding that this could work, but it does work. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Then you said all those studies are on your website.
Yeah, they're accessible through
to links out to those studies.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, how can people find out more, and where do they find your website and all your socials?
LeelaQ.com. That's LeelaQ.com, and you can find a lot of information there and all of that. And if you're really interested in this topic, you find the Telegram icon somewhere on the website.
Good.
Click on it. It's a private Telegram group that you couldn't search for even. And then you can go in. There's about 8,000 people that use our products and talk about it, and
so a little community, so to speak.
It's a community, and it's really because people can use these products for so many different things, right?
Sure.
They use it for this, for that. They have autistic kids and help them with that. They have allergies, whatever. There's
lots of anecdotal data.
Yeah, and you can just go in and ask a question and ask other users what they think about the tech or what products they use for what. If you have questions, so don't take my word for it. Go to just other people.
Your results straight from the people using it.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you for having me.
Unlock your full potential at the Biohackers World Conference and Expo in Los Angeles on March 29th and 30th. Connect with leaders in health optimization, learn the secrets to longevity, boost your performance, and dive into the latest biohacking and wellness innovations. Don't miss out. Tickets are going fast.